order to save $1 million, you first need to save $500,000. In order to save $500,000, you first need to save $250,000. In order to save $250,000, first, you have to save your first $100,000. Hey, my name's Chris. I just recently hit a net worth of over $500,000, and I want to show you how long it took me, how I did it, and how you can do it too. I'm just an average guy. So here's the spreadsheet that I use to track all of my money. I update it twice a month, on the 1st of the month, and then also the 15th of the month. And I just go through the numbers and track whatever it is that I see each month. So here's my cash total. Going down, you can see our investments. But the number that I want to show you today is our net worth. And that's all the way down here after the debts. And you can see we have a net worth of $587,000. Of course, that includes our house, which some people say don't include your house, but it is an asset and that's what we paid for it. It's actually appreciated over time, so it's actually worth more than that now. But through this, you can see that this year we reached over $500,000 in assets. Of that, $458,000 right now are investments. So even on just that, we're closing in on $500,000. But this didn't happen overnight. It took a long time. In fact, in some ways, it took over 20 years of investments, of planning and saving. To hit this figure, it took a lot of sacrifice and a lot of ramen noodles. So going back in time, let's look and see how long it took and also how much we actually invested along the way. Let's go all the way back to 2006. Now, we actually did start investing a little bit before then, but I didn't keep good records back then, so that's pretty much when I started tracking all these things. At that point, we had about $16,000 in investments, and that's pretty much our Roth IRAs at that point. So you can see we started 2007 with a net worth of $16,000. And going forward from there, you can see that it does gradually increase because we are contributing to our Roths every year. And then by 2016, so 10 years after invested, we finally hit $100,000. It took us 10 years to hit that first $100,000. But like I said, that was 10 years of tracking. We actually started about 4 years before that. When we got married in 2002, we started contributing to our Roth IRAs. So it really took 14 years to hit our first $100,000. But after that, it starts to snowball. It did take a dip in 2017. We had to actually take money out to put a down payment on a house, but it starts going up again. And then by 2022, we hit our second $100,000. So doing the math, it took 14 years to hit our first $100,000 and then only 6 years to hit our second $100,000. And then it gets better after that. Looking then to our next $100,000, it actually happened in 2023. That's right. It took less than 2 years to hit our third $100,000. In fact, I made this second spreadsheet here to show exactly how long it took for each one. Our fourth $100,000 took only 9 months and our fifth took 11 months. The stock market didn't do so good that year. But as you can see, we're getting really, really close to our sixth $100,000. And if it doesn't happen at the end of this year, it'll probably happen at the beginning of next year, which means that it'll take considerably less than 11 months, probably more like 8 or 9 months. So why am I showing you all this? One, I think it's good to know that it takes a long time to make your first $100,000. You can feel like your progress is going so incredibly slow and your money isn't earning any interest whatsoever. And kinda it's not. It takes a while for compound interest to really start taking off. Looking back at my actual numbers, you can see that for a while, our amount invested actually was very, very close to our net worth. Because the thing is, interest on a small amount is not going to earn you much money. But as you keep investing, interest on a larger amount will earn you some money. So eventually there's a tipping point and your interest on top of interest, that's called compound interest, actually starts making a difference. So now today, we're actually making more in interest per month than we're actually putting towards our Roths. We're making more than we're actually investing. It doesn't happen right away. It doesn't happen early in your investment process, but stick to it and eventually it starts paying off. Now, I can't tell the future. I don't know when we're going to hit our next $100,000, but just doing the math, if it continues at this rate, we'll probably hit $1 million in the next 3 or 4 years. And I share all this not to brag at all, just because I'm an average guy. This didn't come through extraordinary means. Don't think that becoming a millionaire is a pipe dream. With hard work, with a lot of ramen noodles, and some just good practices, you can do it. Listen, for most of our working careers, we had very low paying jobs, but we were consistent. We saved, we scrimped, we ate a lot of ramen noodles, beans and rice and beans, put everything we could into our Roths, into investments, because that's what it's for, saving for the future. Don't think it's going to happen overnight. Building wealth takes time. It's not easy, but it's totally possible. If I can do it, you can do it too. I'm just an average guy.